to your elbow, and you can cut it with scissors, or you can take your thumbs and just tear it. And then you're going to take it and you just stick it on the end of your table. At the end of the table, it will look like this. You should have 6 to 7 pieces of tape. I'm going to take my piece of newspaper and I'm going to make the head and the body. I'm going to gently crunch it up. There's no need to beat it. There's no need to be angry at our newspaper. We don't need to pound it. If we do, we're going to have a miniature. And it's not going to be a perfect shape. It's fine, but I'm making kind of like, it's hard to tell, but kind of a big body and a head. Now, I'm going to take one of my pieces of tape, and this is kind of going to be where the neck is, to separate the head from the neck. So you're going to just be wrapping your 6 to 7 pieces of tape around it. It's not going to be perfect. Your goal is just to make the paper mostly stay in place. Okay, here it is. I understand it doesn't look like much right now, but I don't want to take a lot of time to do this. If I do, I would be here till 6 to 7 tonight, and I want to keep moving on. Now, the tricky part is going to be when you want to add legs and arms. The alebrijes that you saw had exaggerated features. Features are things like ears, nose, mouth, those sort of things. You can rip a piece of paper so it's a little bit smaller. This is like a quarter of a sheet of paper. Actually, I'm gonna rip it again. That would be now 1/8. And you might want to make like long ears, say, if you're gonna make a rabbit. So you can shape however you want. Say you want to do long ears. I would stick with short arms. Do not do long legs because we need to make this stand up. Right now it doesn't stand up. Once it gets paste on it, it will. Our sculptures need to stand up. So they need to be sitting down. They cannot be on legs. It's too hard to balance that. So here I have a rabbit with exaggerated ears, which are really long. Again, it doesn't stand up, but it's okay. Once I get to the paper mache part, I will show you how to do. Now comes the fun part, the paper mache. The best way to do this is just give your animal a bath in the paper mache and get it completely wet. And the paste is going to dry and harden, which is the goal. So if it's not wet, if you just leave the newspaper dry, then it won't harden and it won't have a nice finish like we want it to. So you're gonna get the whole thing wet, and then you're gonna take your newspaper, and you might have to tear it in smaller pieces, that's okay. And you're just going to wrap it around, and you're gonna cover the whole, every time you do that, you're just gonna cover the whole thing with paper mache. There might be lumps in there, that's totally fine. This feels a little bit slimy. This is Elmer's paper mache paste. It's made specifically for paper mache. And this is the same process that you would use to make a piñata. If you're familiar with the piñata, oftentimes they're made with balloons, and then you do this, you paper mache over the balloon, and then when it dries, you pop the balloon and you fill the inside with candy. Obviously, we're not using balloons, but if you were to do this at home, that would be how you can do it. Some people also use flour and water paste. It does the same thing. Okay, so my ears are also kind of flopping, and I'm just gonna let that go for right now. What I really want to do is make it so it stands up. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding paper to the back. I'm basically making the back side of this rabbit a little bit thicker. And then I didn't use tape. I can't use tape. Tape won't stick to this right now because it's too wet, but it's fine because I'm just kind of holding it in place and then wrapping this around, kind of like I'd wrap a belt around it, or if it was dry, how I would do a piece of tape. Here's the thing, your hands will feel sticky. So you can wash them at the end, but not until you are completely done. It does not have to take a long time. You get some soap, you quickly just rub your hands together. It still feels slimy, it's okay. If I stand here, I could stand here all day till 6 or 7. My hands would still feel slimy. So I just quickly rinse them, turn it off, take a paper towel, wipe my hands. Hands still feel slimy? Maybe you need a second paper towel. That's fine. Take 2. They will still feel slimy. The only way they're not going to feel slimy is when they dry in the air. So you can just let them fly in the air because they will still feel a little slimy. But when it's done, our paper towel always goes in the trash. If you do not put it in the trash, you will lose your sink privileges, and then your hands really will feel slimy. So just kind of wave them in the air, and then they'll feel fine in a couple minutes.